Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. We're talking today about navigating sustainability disclosure requirements with Iceberg Data Lab's environmental reporting solutions. My name is Ruby. I work in the projects team here at Iceberg Data Lab. I'm joined by my colleague Thomas Elmeno, who is the head of ESG consultants and is our resident expert in our reporting solution. Just a bit of admin before we begin. So during today's webinar, feel free to put any questions you have in the chat or the Q&A box, and we'll respond to them throughout the webinar. We also have 2 polls for you today in this webinar, so please also feel free to respond to that as well. I don't know if you have figured it out by my accent, but I am Australian. I'm calling from Australia, and in Australia, when we host webinars, events, any sort of formal thing, we do acknowledge the Aboriginal owners of the land on which we're gathering. I'm calling you today from Sydney, which is the land of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, and I pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging. So to jump in, today's webinar, we're in 2026. We're getting serious with sustainability reporting and disclosures. There have been a few changes in the landscape with the new EU omnibus regulations, which were just confirmed in December. But we also do still have a number of reporting obligations kicking in or continuing this year. UK SDR, for example, CSRD is continuing. Even in Australia, it's moved on to mid-tier firms as well. So a lot of climate disclosures and reports to be done this year. And we also know it can be very complicated, especially if you're running a global operation. There's a lot of different disclosures and reports to be done. Even for us, trying to create a report that would cover it all, we did find it challenging. And so we can hardly imagine having to actually do the reports ourselves. We can imagine that would be challenging. And that's why we're here today. So we're going to give you a quick overview of the regulatory landscape, and we're going to present our new environmental reporting solution, which is designed to help financial institutions like yourselves to meet your reporting obligations. We have been doing reporting for our clients for years. It's something that our clients use our data for very regularly. But this new tool that we've created is in response to a growing need from a number of clients, which will give users the ability to create reports ready-made for themselves very quickly. So before we jump in, I'll do a quick overview of Iceberg Data Lab for those who are not familiar. So we're biodiversity and climate experts. We're a French fintech. We're independent, and we have 6 years of expertise as market leaders in biodiversity and climate assessment. We cover scopes 1, 2, and 3, including upstream and downstream. We also have a really granular level of analysis with our 2,300 goods and services covered. We cover 9,000 plus listed issuers, and we can also cover any public or private issuer upon request as well. And we do have a really strong scientific backing. So we work with a number of currently 30 plus researchers, but more over the years as well. We work with a number of scientific researchers and also universities as well. In terms of the metrics and the indicators we cover, I'll give you a quick overview now. So in terms of climate impacts, we have our carbon footprint. We have the Paris Agreement alignment as well, avoided emissions and transition and physical risk as well. For nature impacts, we've got our flagship corporate biodiversity footprint, dependency scores, so looking at the double materiality, positive contribution and asset screening as well, which is another new product, which is quite groundbreaking. We also cover deforestation, so deforestation impact and avoided deforestation and reduced as well. And regulatory impacts. So all of the regulations you can see there, and also our new tool, the environmental reporting solution, which kind of pulls all those regulations together as well. For a quick look at our sort of who we work with a number of different asset managers, banks, pension funds, asset owners, you name it, we've worked with them. So you can have a look there, just see who we work with and who we're trusted by as well. So to dig into the guts of the presentation, I'll hand over to Thomas now. Thanks, Thomas.
Thank you, Ruby, for this very nice introduction of Iceberg, of what we do. Indeed, reporting is one of our main job, one of the main thing we do at Iceberg. Our client use our data to produce their own regulatory report, environmental report, to report on the aggregated impact of their portfolios. But for plenty of clients, we've been doing those reports for them. For clients who are maybe, let's say, at the beginning of their reporting journey, who maybe don't have the resources yet in terms of ESG analyst or ESG reporting analyst, we've been doing those reports. And today we'll show you how we have integrated that into our console, our client platform, the Iceberg console, and so how our users are able from a portfolio to produce their own report. But maybe let's brush on all the regulations we help with at the moment, because we have clients all over the world and we help them to report on all those regulations. Of course, some of them will need the client's input. For plenty of them, we provide the basis of all the data that needs to be reported. So, for example, SFDR is our bread and butter, EU taxonomy as well, the UK SDR that is coming up this year. It will be the full rollout in 2026. So we are in touch with plenty of UK asset managers and asset owners at the moment. TCFD, since we produce climate data, is one of the framework we can definitely help with. So is TNFD, the reporting on nature. And we help as well institutions in the US, Canada, or Japan to fulfill their reporting obligations. But let's focus on our home market. Let's say the EU or Europe, if we consider the UK. A few key dates for reporting that are coming up this year. First of all, the CSRD, which is currently being reviewed, but we have upcoming on the 30th of April 2026. The reporting is expected for wave 1 institutions, so the entities with more than 500 employees, and they need to prepare their CSRD aligned report. Then, for financial institutions, this time in France, we have the local Article 29 from the LEC, Loi Énergie Climat, and this reporting has to be printed before 30th of June 2006 on the portfolios of last year, 2025. This is the main regulation we help clients to report in France. Then, at the same timeline, on a European scale, the reporting expectation is about SFDR PAIs, and here the deadline is 30th of June. It's at entity level for entities with more than 500 employees, and through 2026, we don't have any date yet, but there will be website disclosure and supervisory and voluntary ESA reports. End of year in the UK, that will be the implementation, the rollout of UK SDR for all asset managers and asset owners with more than 5 billion AUM. Last December was 50 billion AUM. So at the end of this year, we'll have like 90% of the UK buy-side entities who need to produce a report. And this is what we can help you with today, especially if you haven't yet hired the right people, or you haven't the relevant resources yet to produce those reports. Iceberg can help with its experience. So how is this going to work? we can provide reporting solution. It's a streamline tool that generates portfolio environmental report in a few minutes, actually. I mean, of course, depending on the number of lines of your portfolio and your benchmark, but it's definitely something you can have very quickly to help meet with your disclosure requirements. What will you find in this report? You will find climate and biodiversity and risk indicators in general, scope 1, 2, and 3 for your portfolio. You will be able to compare your portfolio to your benchmark, and you will have a proper portfolio environmental performance attribution. I'll show you the tables just in a few minutes. It's really precise. It helps you to understand clearly where your impact lies and versus your benchmark. So it's extremely powerful to understand your impact at portfolio level. And this reporting, there are several templates, but is aligned with TNFD, TCFD, SFDR, UKSDR, Article 29, EU taxonomy, and IFRS regulatory frameworks. So how does it work? You just go on the Iceberg console, and by the way, I will just show quickly the Iceberg console for the people who haven't seen it yet, because it's the new console. This one was released in January this year. So I'm just looking at one company here. I'm looking at Tesla. You will find the biodiversity footprint. You will find the biodiversity score between 1 and 6 to know in which bucket this company lies. You'll have temperature metrics, but all of that is a fully customizable view for our users with the most important information for you. But all the indicators we have are here at this horizontal line. So you can look at dependencies for this company. You can look at carbon footprint, and you will have all the different charts below updating. You can look at temperature. You can look at physical risk, transition risk. The assets it's a new release functionality, and it was really expected from our clients. So that helps you to figure out if one asset of the company is located near a natural sensitive area. And you will have all our indicators, deforestation, etc. Why am I showing you that? It's because now all our indicators are available for all our users on the platform. Even if you are just subscribed to the biodiversity footprint in your contract, on the console, you can visualize all information. So it's a great tool now for ESG analysts, for your research to understand, or maybe just to look and compare with your other data provider. Of course, when you export the data, you will only be able to export the data you are subscribed to. But anyway, on this console, you have a portfolio tool here where you can upload your portfolio. You will click here and you will be able to choose a file. And what do you need? Basically, just security identifier. So ISIN, LEI, or our identifier, but most of our clients will use ISINs, and then just wait, and you will upload your portfolio. You will do exactly the same for your benchmark. You will upload your benchmark, and then you will be able to select your benchmark, select the kind of template you want. So let's say like 29, for example, and this will produce the environmental portfolio report within minutes. So let me show you one example. Here's the structure of the report. You will have first a introduction on what we can do, what you will find in this report. By the way, it's a Word document, of course. We made that on purpose, so you can just modify it directly. You can add your company's logo and all the introduction pages, the word of your CEO, etc., that our client like to add at the beginning. According to the framework, so Article 29, for example, here you will have the description of all the indicators we have added in the report and the definitions. Then, this is the most important part, you will find our methodology. And the methodology will give you the formula to understand how we build this portfolio environmental performance attribution, how you can understand your asset allocation effect, or you can understand your security selection effect. And we make concrete examples, you see, so you can understand the results that you will get. And you basically have all the formulas here that you can then replicate if you want to make a concrete example with the data. Then you will find the coverage of the portfolio, because if some securities are missing, we'll indicate it. Of course, when securities are missing, you can talk to the support, Iceberg support, and we quite often we are able to expand coverage on those securities. And then we'll start with the first part. So here we are talking about climate. And so the different part you can see on the left-hand side of the screen of the report is climate, biodiversity, dependencies, PAI, and TNFD. On climate, what will you find first? Top performers, bottom 5 performers of your portfolio. And here I can see the temperature alignment of my top performers, those companies, and my bottom performers. Then, that's the most important chart. You will find here a comparison sector by sector of your portfolio versus your benchmark. And you will be able to see the allocation effect and the stock selection effect. So for one sector, if I look at energy sector, I will know what is the temperature alignment of my portfolio versus what's the temperature alignment of my benchmark. Then the weight of my portfolio in this specific sector and the weight in the benchmark. So here I can see that I overweighted the energy sector in my portfolio. And then we'll do the calculation that it was a positive sector allocation and also a positive stock selection within that sector. So this is interesting, but maybe, yeah, the power sector on this example might be more interesting because here I have a positive sector allocation. So I chose the right sector, let's say, but however, I have a negative stock selection. So it seems that we didn't choose the best companies, the best securities in terms of environmental performance, climate at least, because then you understand we will decline this analysis with biodiversity, same, and we will decline this analysis with the dependencies. So I won't go too much into the details because this report has 66 pages, but you can see from the menu on the left that then at the beginning we look at temperature in absolute value, and then we look at temperature with the financial ratios, GHG per sales, GHG per enterprise value, GHG per total assets minus cash. So depending, of course, of your view of your financial analyst, you might want to change the financial ratios you are analyzing your portfolio with. For this, our support is, of course, available to discuss it with you, and we can send you all our guides so you can understand. So here we go. That was a brief overview of the report. At the end, you will find the PAI, you will find the definitions of all our indicators, of course, methodological definitions as well of the CBF, our indicator of the financial ratios, and how we compute all of that. But you got it. It's a complete report that will compare your portfolio versus the benchmark in terms of climate, biodiversity, dependencies, and sector per sector, and it's a proper portfolio environmental performance attribution. And now this is available directly on our console.
Perfect. Thank you, Thomas. Any
You're welcome.
All good. And thanks everyone for joining. We hope you found it insightful. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us. You can contact us on our French line. We also have expanded our presence in the UK, in London. So we've got a London line there. You can call Joseph. And we've also got our email address and our website there. If you have any questions, either about the environmental reporting solution or any questions at all about our climate and biodiversity solutions as well. So thanks, everyone. Have a lovely day.
Thank
Goodbye.
you. Actually, yeah, I'm thinking about our new office in London with Joseph, and for all our UK viewers today, we did a webinar on UKSDR last month, so the replay is available as well, or you can just talk to Joseph. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye bye.